Top 20 questions you should ask on a first date. I usually avoid these sad and pathetic articles like they are day-old gas station sushi. But when a 54-year-old single woman is giving dating advice, I can always use a good laugh. If women are looking for dating advice, they should really seek advice from the men that they're looking to attract. Sad, lonely old women give advice that lesbians want. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not what she's selling. So the article starts off with the 20 questions every woman should ask on a first date. Do you have a dog? Bad. Do you like quinoa? Good. After years of dating, Julie, 54, swears she's found the perfect formula. But would any man pass the test? You may imagine the perfect first date should include flowers, candles, and perhaps some sultry background music to set the mood. My first date must-have, however, is something rather different. A list of 20 questions for any potential suitor, enabling me efficiently to weed out any dating duds and easily identify those precious keepers. Among other things, my dating questionnaire allows me to discover whether my potential Mr. Right likes quinoa or chips, is in bed by 9:30 like myself, and, vitally, whether he speaks kindly of his mother. On a deeper level, it helps me quickly establish a picture of the heart and soul of the man, whether he is trustworthy, and if we might be compatible. Time is of the essence. When you get to 54 and you are still single after all. 54 and still single, huh? Alright, so you're still looking for a partner at 54. This is definitely someone who should be giving dating advice. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but all the good men that you're looking for are taken. And if they're still on the market, they're either broken or they can do better than a 54-year-old woman. I'll let you in on a little secret. Men generally prefer younger women. Conversely, women usually prefer older men. It just seems to work out like that. Of course, there are outliers, but we're speaking about most people. Clearly, I'm very fussy when it comes to dating, but why shouldn't we women of a certain age be fussy? After all, I've been dating for nearly half my life now, and simply haven't had the time or patience to leave much to chance anymore. That's why I wholly agree with TV presenter Trisha Goddard, who, with 2 divorces and 64 years on the clock, said last month that she gave a questionnaire to the man who is now her fiancé in order to cut the crap. She said her questionnaire meant she didn't waste time dating someone who would ultimately not be the right fit for her. Some think this approach is unromantic or impatient, but to me, it just sounds like good sense. And there she is. She's not a bad-looking woman. As a fitness consultant, I understand why she's thin. Because there are some definite romantic red lines for me that instantly rule out potential Romeos. For example, as a nutritional and wellness consultant, it's important any partner of mine doesn't mistreat their body or drink too much. I also prefer to sleep with my head on an incline, raised higher than my feet, as studies have shown it can be good for your health. So if a man couldn't get comfy in my specially adapted bed, that would be something of a deal breaker for me. Aside from this, I'd love someone with whom I can enjoy day trips and holidays. Someone to laugh with. Looks, I admit I prefer dark features, but they must have a friendly, smiley disposition. And if a man remembered my favorite flowers are freesias, then that would mean the world to me. In my 20s, I told my father about the kind of qualities I wanted in a man, and he replied, "Julie, enjoy spinsterhood." Based! But the reality is, like so many middle-aged women, I'm at a stage of life when looks just aren't enough of a pull anymore. Oh, looks aren't enough. Oh. Yeah, listen, Angelina Jolie was smoking hot back in the day. And she's still attractive. But guess what? People get older and their looks fade. She sounds shallow. Let me refine that. She sounds like she was shallow her whole life and is now dealing with the consequences. While I once tried a dating website, I prefer to be matched by friends who know me. I've always assumed this is the best approach to find someone like-minded to share my life with. I wouldn't mind a divorcee. I've been married too. One's in my 20s, but it was well over before I turned 30. We just weren't on the same wavelength anymore. Since then, I've had several short-term relationships and a few dates, but have yet to find someone long-term who meets my needs. Always about her needs, huh? We're going to get back to that. People so often comment, "Why can't you find a keeper, Julie? After all, I'm slim, attractive, own my own home, and I'm financially independent." Yeah, guys don't care about that too much. Guys are more into physical and, no one cares if you own your own home and you're financially independent. In fact, that actually makes you less attractive to men. And conversely, women don't like men that earn less than them. I know they say that, but trust me, that's the truth. But the men I've dated, oh dear, they've generally been one of two extremes. Either very demanding of my time and controlling, or terrible at maintaining regular contact and a bit lazy. If all the men you're dating fall into those two categories, this might be a you problem. Or we get back to the fact that all the good ones have been taken a long time ago. You've waited too long, I think. Thankfully, my questions help spot them at an early stage, so I haven't wasted too much of my precious time. Precious time. She does realize the clock is running out, so this is good for her self-knowledge. I'd encourage all women like me to take my approach to love. Don't hold back. Ask my vital questions on your very first meeting. Life is short. Every date counts. And I believe my questionnaire will eventually help me and you find love. Oof. This sounds all about her needs. She doesn't sound like she's offering much for his needs. I'm seeing a pattern. You picking up on that already? So, take her approach to love. Really? If there are any women listening, and probably not too many, but I think if you follow her guidelines, you will end up in her position in life. 54 years old and lonely, desperately seeking a fairy tale romance when that ship sailed a few decades ago. You should start the clock on her cat adoptions. But let's get to the questions that is her secret to finding true love over 50. 1. What are your friends like? Your friends reveal a lot about who you are. If they're nice, honest people, then that's a good sign. But if they're beer-swilling, rowdy types, then that won't work. I don't mind a bit of banter. But a partner drinking a lot is not for me. Never mind the taste of alcohol. I can't even stand the smell of it. Another red flag is those who talk negatively about others. I swerve gossipers too. Okay, questions about friends is fine. Probably not the first question I would ask, but it's a bold starting point. By the way, she's already laid down a few rules you may have noticed. 2. How do you get on with your parents? If you don't come from a warm family or have a good relationship with your parents, I'd want to know why. Not because I'm nosy, but it's nice to be involved in a welcoming family. There's always a reason when a family isn't close, and if they didn't get on with their parents, it could be they hold resentments that they bring into a relationship. Really? At her age? Why is she concerned about her date's parents? They would probably be well into retirement age and need frequent medical care. Is she looking for someone to be her daily caretaker when she ages out? Having a good relationship with your parents is important, but this seems a little bit like an interrogation already. 3. Do you have a good relationship with X? This is a bit of a trick question. If you're nasty about your exes, you could be the same about me. I definitely don't want to be with anyone who views past relationships in a negative light. I believe we all come into one another's lives for a reason. We learn good and bad from all encounters, and that's why negative Nellies who hold on to bitterness need not apply. It shows they hold grudges, which isn't a good character trait. This is a bit of a trick question. Trick questions? Guys love those. If you view an ex in a negative light, that's no good. Exes are exes because something went wrong. Who cares how you feel about them? If you still have feelings for them, then that's another red flag because you're still interested in someone else. This is a dumb question. No win. Big red flag for me. 4. What do you think about inclined beds? I don't want anyone to think I'm crackers, but yes, I sleep with my bed higher at head level. I've been doing it for years because it's been shown to improve health. I feel better for doing it, and it's easy to do. I just prop up my bed with a couple of books under the legs at the head end. I'm in good company because Elon Musk recently said this was a good option for sleep hygiene. But no, I don't think Elon and I are a match made in heaven. Ha ha, you're funny. Other things that are important to me, between the sheets, that's easy. I religiously wear an eye mask and earplugs because eradicating all noise and light helps me sleep better. If a potential amour thinks this is weird, then it's unlikely to work out between us. Inclined bed is a deal breaker. Eye mask, earplugs, ooh, sexy time. Well, at least it will be very easy to escape in the middle of the night. 5. Do you have a balanced diet? If it's a yes, let's keep talking, because it means you would probably accept that I eat and live very healthily. This is a bit of a deal breaker for me because if a man likes junk and processed food, then long term we won't be compatible. If they order meals such as processed burgers in restaurants, that would also be a no-no for me. I'm not vegan, but I do enjoy cooking from scratch, and I want a partner to eat and enjoy the food I make. So instead of refined carbs, I go for buckwheat, quinoa, and brown rice. I do eat white basmati rice occasionally, though. I avoid alcohol and dairy. I've been on dates with men who seem really intolerant of my lifestyle and healthy regime, and make spiky comments about the hype around trendy intolerances. But the reality is I just don't like booze or dairy. Haven't for decades. Okay, it's good to eat healthy. And at your age, you're probably concerned with heart conditions, blood pressure. Fair questions. But pushing your food requirements on someone else is, well, pushy. If you're asking him to eat the foods you make, are you willing to eat the food he makes? It's a little bit more of that selfish pattern than I saw earlier. 6. Would you like to have children? You're 54. Who are we kidding here? Because I very definitely do not. Well, duh. My son from my first marriage is 27, and while I'm blessed to have him in my life, I wouldn't want a man who wanted more children of his own. Well, of course not. It's impossible. My age clearly makes this an impossibility. Yeah, you're delusional at this point if you're even talking about this. And while I'm happy for potential Mr. Right to have children already, it's preferable that they're old enough to have their own lives and not be dependent on their father. Listen, the whole children thing for you sailed a long time ago. It's almost pointless to bring this up. No one dating you is going to want children. I mean, this is ridiculous. This should be a 19 questions to get ahead in life. 7. What hobbies do you have? It's healthy to like different things, but I prefer them to enjoy doing similar things to me when we spend time together, such as going to health events, walking in nature, and salsa dancing. See, this starts off with a conundrum. It's healthy to like different things, but I prefer doing the exact things that I like to do. All right, men usually like different things. Sure, a man may say he likes salsa dancing. But if you're looking for a mid-50 to 60-year-old man, you better not hang your hopes on salsa dancing. Someone might break a hip. Are you willing to do anything else, or is this just about you? Are you willing to try something that he likes? 8. Which do you prefer, early or late nights? If they like late nights, this probably wouldn't work. I'm normally in bed by 9:30. Okay, so you must conform to her schedule, selfish much, or just trying to cut down the dating pool. It's really all about her, isn't it? 9. Do you like a lot of contact by phone? If they do like lots, then it feels too overwhelming for me, as I like my own space. However, if they don't like much contact either, that's also not ideal, as it could feel like they were not interested in me, or maybe even had other people that they were seeing. Okay, some poor bastard has to choose the exact amount of not too much and not too little based on the mood of her that day. Now, this is typical female behavior, so I can't really blame her. But guys hate this crap. She is way overthinking this. 10. Are you affectionate? I'm very tactile, so public displays of affection, such as hand-holding, are important to me. I also enjoy having my arms stroked or my back massaged. It's a love language all of its own. Public affection? Okay, not a bad question. At least she knows what she wants. Didn't see her offering anything, though. Still all about her? Okay, got it. 11. What are your worst traits? I know I'm impatient. As an Aries, that's a given. But can also be slightly inflexible. That said, I wouldn't want a man who is moody or controlling. A pet hate is being late. It's the height of rudeness. Oh, Aries. Yay. A person who believes in zodiac stuff. Slightly inflexible? Oh, honey, that's no secret. We pegged that after your first paragraph. You don't want a man who is controlling. It's been very clear that you want to do the controlling. You want a docile, weak man. You haven't come to terms with that yet, but that's what you want. Someone who will listen to you and do as you wish. Women call this romantic, but it's a nightmare for both of you. 12. Are you a fan of natural cosmetics? I wouldn't want artificially perfumed or chemically based products in my home. My home. So she's not looking for a relationship. She's looking, never mind. You see where I'm going with that. Items such as shower gels and aftershaves are overpowering when they are produced this way. When you're used to natural products, the smell of synthetic chemicals is absolutely off-putting. Yet no men are fans of cosmetics. Natural, chemical, or nuclear. I mean, closet gay men and frat boys use perfumes and scented body wash. Real men just use soap. She doesn't actually want a man. She wants her version of a man. 13. Do you love watching TV? I don't have any of the streaming services such as Netflix, and I think there's no bigger turnoff than binge-watching box sets at weekends. While I did enjoy the BBC Wim Hof Iceman series, I can't remember the last time I watched a film. I don't want to be taken out of real life too much and be hypnotized by the small screen. I'm very set in my ways. And even someone putting the television on when I don't want to watch it would really annoy me. So watching TV would annoy her. I personally don't watch TV, and we cut the cord years ago. But lots of guys like to watch sports. And if you can't sit down and unwind with a light comedy after a hard day's work, she's not looking for a man. What does she want? I think she wants a cat. Wim Hof? I don't know if you guys get the reference or not. That's great stuff. But that seems a little like virtue signaling to me. 14. We're moving right through this. Is exercise important to you? I practice Qigong outside first thing in the morning. I get up at 6 a.m. because the light at sunrise is important for the body to reset the circadian rhythms. I've also got a rebounder, which is a mini trampoline. I find 10 minutes of bouncing is equivalent to a 30-minute jog, and it's a great way to oxygenate my body. I usually bounce to a bit of Bob Marley and finish it off with a bit of stretching. That said, men obsessed with the gym or having perfectly honed six-pack aren't for me. Okay, exercise is fine, but not too much, according to her. So she's got her Qigong outside, then her trampoline bouncing, then her stretching, then Marley. Now you better like Marley, and no more than 30 minutes of working out for you. So you better be healthy and fit, but not too fit. And you better take care of your body, but not too much. This woman is setting up impossible standards. 15. Are you addicted to your phone? Scrolling is a drug. I detest it. I wouldn't want to be with someone who was easily distracted. I put my phone on silent when I eat and refuse to allow anyone to have a phone at the table. Oh. Yeah, don't watch TV. Don't use your phone. Of course you should put down your phone during dinner. That's a courtesy. But that's not what she's going after. I refuse to allow anyone to have a phone at the table. Refuse? Does she think that's how you're supposed to talk to adults? Well, kind of all about her rules, huh? What do you feel about finances? I prefer a middle ground. I'm not into labels and couldn't contemplate being with someone who pays hundreds of pounds for one item. But equally, a stingy attitude is a turnoff, especially with food. I pay a lot to eat healthy because it's important to me. I would never cut corners when it comes to buying healthy food. I prefer organic, so lower quality food would never work for me. You see this mixed message again? It's kind of a running theme if you haven't noticed. I couldn't be with someone who pays a lot for one thing, but don't be stingy either. Now, she spends a bunch on food, but because it's for her and it's important, money is no object. This chick is infuriating. 17. Are you a metrosexual? Do those still exist? I wouldn't want a man who put too much effort into his appearance. Clean, tidy, yes. Groomed and preened? No way. I'm never going to rub along with a guy who asks me if he looks nice rather than telling me that I look nice. Asks me if he looks nice rather than telling me I look nice. God, good God, it's all about her, isn't it? That selfish pattern is just unavoidable. Do you have a pet of your own? I'll say it now. While I do like pets, doesn't sound like it, if a man put their dog before me, we might as well stop there. The same goes for guys who let their dog sleep in the bedroom. I dated one chap who allowed his into the bedroom and he barked all night. Awful. The same goes if we're out enjoying one another's company and they've got to get back for the dog. Just no. Well, if you let your dog in the bedroom and it barks all night, that's just a shitty guy. There's nothing. Ugh. Okay, let's take this from another point of view. If a man has had a dog for 12 years and this woman suddenly feels like the dog needs to go and to be replaced with her, this is secretly what they call a shit test, and he's already failed. If he abandons his dog for this chick, it makes him a crap human being. If he takes care of his dog by providing the care that another living creature depends on, then she doesn't like it. There's no winning here. It just has to be all about her. She's an insufferable narcissist. 19. Would you like to get married? While I certainly do not dream of a white gown or the big day, again, haha, that's hilarious. If my Romeo wanted to and is happy to arrange everything so I can just turn up, then I might be up for that. But at the same time, would that mean we'd have to live together too? Because that's another conversation entirely. I don't want to be someone else's housekeeper. Would I want us to live in separate homes? That's debatable. Wow. Marriage with separate homes. I just don't want to be a housekeeper. It kind of sounds like she wants friends with benefits. She has no desire to open up her life and have a partner. It's all about her needs, her emotions, her rules, and her space. Could you imagine a guy planning a wedding and she just shows up? This woman she's actually a bad person at this point. And 20, let's finish it off strong. How do you deal with arguments? How do you handle conflict? How you handle conflict will tell me everything about you. If you're quick to anger or blame other people, then you know where the door is. I much prefer to talk situations through. First thing I noticed, projection. I bet she is quick to anger. With the way she lays down rules and I demand this and I refuse that. Okay, I'm sensing some projection. As far as conflict, it sounds like you have already made up all the rules. And if you don't agree with the rules, she'll just keep talking until you agree or leave. So do you think you could meet Julie's standards and be her match in heaven? Contact blah blah blah. Do not contact her. Don't. Leave her alone. I mean, she's going to be alone pretty soon. Just leave her alone. Okay. So this whole article has more red flags than a Chinese parade. For the guys, if you see a woman like this, run. Just run. Drop whatever you're doing. Swallow what you're chewing. Run. This is a monster. Now, ladies, do not follow her advice. She will probably die alone. She could have pulled some of this crap 20 or 30 years ago, but she is well past hitting the wall. So I can hear it now. The girls and young women are saying, But I'm empowered. I don't need a man. This third wave feminism has made women miserable. Just take a look at this woman's life. She was married for a few years in her 20s, but divorced before 30. She has been dating garbage men, as she describes them, for 25 years and hasn't found anyone good enough yet. Do you think she's winning? Does she think she's winning? This is a sad and empty life. I feel pity for her. So, do you really need a man? Of course you do. Everyone needs someone, or life gets really lonely. What do you think the reason for living is? It's no fun doing something cool if you don't have someone to share it with. Plus, it's nice to have someone to bring you soup when you don't feel well. Be the type of person that someone wants to be around. After all of her interrogations, what can she offer to a man? Well, not much. She has a list of demands, but nothing to offer. She doesn't sound supportive, compassionate, or even loving. She sounds like a dictator. If you want to find a happier relationship, be yourself. But be willing to listen and offer something in exchange. It's not just sex and beauty. Those fade over time. Be willing to be a partner. Give a little, take a little. This woman offers nothing, and will receive nothing for her troubles.